throw at you?
You know what? They do they do a heck of a job. I mean, they're a really good defense, personnel-wise, and obviously what they do scheme-wise. They give you problems, and they put their guys in position to make plays. So it's a challenging prep.
They're forcing a lot of turnovers. I mean, they're just getting good opportunities, or are they kind of making some of those things happen?
Yeah, I think they're making plays. I mean, when they get opportunities, they're taking advantage of them. They create confusion. You know, they create confusion and uncertainty, and then off of that, people are giving them some chances. But shoot, they're taking advantage of them. Guys are making plays on balls, and they're doing a nice job, really nice job.
Can you remember any similarities? It seems like they have about 6 or 7 starters that also started against you guys last year. Similarities, improved players?
Yeah, I think a lot. I think the guys recognize personnel a lot, and obviously there's some new faces, but a lot of them they had a chance to play against. But we have a lot of young players that haven't played, so a little bit of back and forth there. But yeah, I think I see some similarities to what they did last year. You see a lot of things, but they added a lot of kind of just taking advantage of the personnel they have in their back end a little bit more. You know, they got some great players back there. They're not afraid to let them play and challenge you to get the ball down the field.
Would it follow that with 5 DBs on the field for a lot of the time that you could run against them?
Yeah, no, it just depends. I mean, some of that's personnel driven. You know, what the team they're playing against is playing, but they have 3 guys that play linebacker pretty darn well in a 4-3 set, and then they can kind of play with that personnel a little bit off of it. You know, and they'll probably do it a little bit based on who we have in the game. You know, whether we got a second tight end or a fullback, or whether we got 3 wideouts. So I imagine we'll see a little bit of that.
What did you see when you saw the film of the offensive line from the Virginia game?
I think everyone. I think you just saw where you could be better. You know what I mean? And you saw how important it is to be on each play. And you know, when you got a team that's playing you tough, all that strain and that finish is sometimes, a lot of times, most of the time, is the difference between being successful or not. And that's just kind of been the emphasis. Like, each guy's got to be their best on a play, you know, if we're going to have a chance to be successful offensively. And I definitely wouldn't hang it on the O-line. You know what I mean? There was as much backs running and tight ends fitting things on the edge. I mean, it was across the board that we didn't get it done.
Do you adjust your play calling at all when a team is having that much success getting pressure on the quarterback?
Yeah, I think you got to trust your guys to be the best of them. I don't think you can change everything, but they did. They did a nice job of pressuring us, and you know, there are times where we just have breakdowns, you know, and weren't able to hold up, and it's what we've had a chance over the bye week to kind of focus in on and work on.
Is it a benefit to have a little extra time when you go up against a good team, especially on the road now?
Yeah, I think it was a good time for our group because they are a little bit young, so it's kind of odd you have 2 bye weeks so early. But we got the majority of our season ahead of us, and it gave us a chance to reset and focus on just some fundamental things that you can lose as you're prepping each week. So yeah, we just kind of focused in that first week just really on us and what do we need to get better up, what do we need to shore up, and then yeah, and it's nice obviously having the time in the preparation.
Do you when you go from 58 points and 7 days later you have 14 points, you scratch your head a little bit and say, how did that happen?
You know, no question, and I think it's a little bit to this team. You know, the thing you sit back and you look at and you found a way to win in different ways, and that makes you feel good. And you know, I think you have to be at your best if you're going to be successful, and you're going to get challenged at times. But you know, I didn't feel like we played at our best in that game. You know, and I think and that's been a challenge this week, is to kind of shore up each guy. You know, with that understanding of it's not going to come easy. You know what I mean? You might get a big hit here or there, but sometimes those 4- and 5-yard physical finishes on plays are what you need to kind of keep it going. And the protection end of it's got to be there. So that's all we focused on.
Was it mental mistakes and physical mistakes, or
both in that game? They challenged you a little bit. They gave us some looks, but it really wasn't anything within the rules of a given play. You know what I mean? And you know, we just got to be better.
Hey, everybody likes seeing the 60-yard passes and the 50-yard passes. It's fun, but is there more of some of that quick stuff for Tom? Is he still kind of developing that part of his game, particularly in a game like that when you're getting a lot of pressure?
Yeah, you know what? It's always a fine line how much you can prep and be ready to get in and run and do well. You know what I mean? And that's all. I think that's the challenge for us each week, is to what are we gonna ask these guys to be able to learn, absorb, and really own, like know it inside and out to be successful. And I think you got to be smart on how much to put on their plate, and you do have to have a good mix. You know, you got to have a mix of being able to get the ball out quick, and you got your big play actions, and you know. But that's a line that you got to be able to walk each week, especially with a young group. It's great to have everything in, and then no detail. You're going to end up the same place that you are.
That's where tight ends come in, I guess, huh? They can become
Yeah,
weapons in a passing game.
absolutely, and you use them in a lot of ways. You know, you use them in protection also. You use them in that. So you know what I mean. You're trying to find the best spots to kind of work everyone, but you know, protection, got to have it. You know, got to be able to be physical in the run game, and if you can do those two things, kind of you'd be all right.
Has a guy like JP been asked to do a little more protection this year? You know, he hasn't been too involved with the passing game through.
Yeah, and you know what, I think the time will come with those. You know, I mean, ball's getting out to those guys, and you know, Tommy's does a good job and can get the ball down the field, and you know, same thing with those guys. Their time will come, and I've loved their approach. They're not pointing, you know, about making plays. They do what they're asked to do, and they work their tails off, and those plays will come.
Has it surprised you, I mean, that they haven't been a huge part of the passing game through 4 games, just through the flow of the game or whatever?
Yeah, you know what? Not really. I mean, there's nothing that's keeping them out of it. It's just you know, you work your preps and you see what you think you have that week, and you get it ready, and you might see a week where they have a bunch. You know what I mean? But you're trying to put the team in the best position.
You have the bye week this week, or you're coming off the bye, and then there's no more breaks the rest of the way.
Mhm.
I know you're focused on this weekend, but is there a kind of feeling around the team of kind of hitting into a stretch run now? I mean, you're going 8 weeks in a row, kind of jumping really into it. For the
Yeah,
rest
I
of the
mean,
season.
this is it. I mean, you're pinning your ears back. You got 8 straight weeks, and I think that rhythm of getting into this is you're not going to have the luxury that you had last week to kind of, you know. So I think guys do feel that and understand that. I liked how they worked yesterday. You know, getting back into it after having a day or two to be away from it. So yeah, I mean, that's our approach. So I hope they understand that just as well.
With a lot of young players, that'll be tough on young players, the 8-week stretch without a break.
Right. I mean, give and take. You know, you had the breaks early, so it should be fresh going into this. So you know, I don't mind the way it fell out. You know what I mean? I think we had a chance to kind of work on some things early in the season rather than just trying to get healthy later in the season.
You preparing for a lot of crowd noise on offense Saturday?
Yeah, I mean that's definitely something you'll expect down there. They do. It's going to be a heck of an environment. I think our kids are embracing it, but yeah, we are preparing for that.
Joe, thank you.